Yes, looks like someone else is also gonna join. Okay. I have got few apologies for today. So let's see who else joins, and then we will kick off our conversation. Hey, Deepak,
Hi Kapil, hi everyone.
you are on the planet Earth,
Hi,
Deepak.
Deepak. Good
Yes,
evening.
thank you. Good evening.
Hi, 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 hi. Welcome to this community. So we are just going to get kick started. Few people might join a bit late, so I will try to take care of them. So I welcome you all. So Parina and Deepak are the new members. And Parina, I'm not sure if you have got the chance to look at that video. I spoke about a person. That's about Deepak. Uh, in that community, in that conversation. Um, so that's why I just invited him to see the new possibility in his life and probably everybody else's life, and maybe we will get to learn something from him and his experiences as well. So without ado, let's do a quick introduction, quick two-liner introduction, so that we can jump onto the conversation. Parina, I invite you to just give it a quick background about you.
Sure. Hi again, everyone. So I'm Farina. I'm originally from Nepal, Kathmandu, and I moved to India for my education. So I studied in DU and then IIT Delhi. And yeah, I was already always interested in coaching as a domain. And I read a lot of books since I was young, personal development related books. And after a few years in the corporate area, I wanted to like start coaching as my career. And currently, I'm working with an organization called UF Academy and Studios as a lifestyle coach. So this is more focused on mind and body, holistic wellness. And yeah, always I wanted to expand my network as well. That is when I came across Kapil sir's profile on LinkedIn and I connected with him. And yeah, that's how I'm here.
Beautiful. Thank you for this short, beautiful introduction. Thank you, Parina. Deepak,
Yep, sure. Hi everyone. This is Deepak. I live in Bangalore, and Kapil invited me, and I was like looking at the name Ripplers. Somehow it resonated immediately. And today I was just thinking after a long time about uh, what next, and like, is there a possibility? And then I don't know, Kapil. It just came right away that I think I would also like to be a coach, not to coach maybe the others, to get to learn from others when you coach, the learning that I might get, that will be, I think it will be very useful to me.
yeah, beautiful.
Yeah,
And that is why you are here, because I could sense that you have the capability and the capacity to create the ripple effect on the planet, the way
thank
you
you.
have created in your life with your
Yeah,
loved ones nearby. So thank you for being there, Deepak. Your
thank
presence would
you.
be valuable. Sujana,
Yeah.
not sure if Sujana can hear us well. Yes.
I can hear you, but I'm just worried, Kapil, that there would be a much noise.
There is a little bit of breakage of the sound, so you can switch off the video if that
Yeah.
helps to get fine. See if that helps.
No, not really, because I would not be able to hear. There is a lot of noise coming from the background. So,
Okay, okay, sure.
hmm,
No worries, no worries, no worries. I'll skip you for now. Is that fine?
able to
All
hear
right.
me?
Okay. So, guys, something about me. I am into life coaching from last 3.5 years officially. That means professionally, I am being a coaching into coaching from last 3.5 years, and this year has been very, very transformational because I was trying to see if we can have some form of community um, for the people who are really, really looking forward to have something amazing on this planet. And when I say on this planet, assume you are the planet. And when you create an amazing value in your life, there is a possibility that you will be able to create an amazing value in someone else's life as well. So that was the whole message, and that is why this Rippler, why this word Rippler has been used. I don't know if I have explained that in the last video, but I would like to reiterate to all three of you that you have a power, inbuilt power, always been there with you to create that effect in your life at a level so that it can create millions of people. And I'm not talking about an effort worth of millions of people. I'm talking about an effortless way of impacting millions of people. So with this, I would like to start this conversation. I am coming up with a very, very open mind in this conversation because I don't want to interrupt the flow, which is coming from the divine, for this creating a amazing session with you today. So let me see how well you could resonate it so far. Give me a quick background of, maybe Parina, you can talk about it since you are into now coaching. What really made you come here? Because I would like you to ask, I would like to ask this with everyone, because this is a community and community gets built with each other, not just with me. I am just a small facilitator here. So going forward, this community is gonna go very, very big, and that's my aspiration or the vision. Big in terms of creating an impact in your life, so that it can automatically create a ripple effect in many others' life. So with that, how you could resonate with that? Would you like to share?
Sure. So for me, it's one is something that I think we all maybe kind of realize, or maybe it's because I'm new here, that coaching is, fairly a new concept, as in it being like a career, or it's a niche market, I think, globally. So it's not like, I don't know, IT or something like that, where there are, millions around us. I think there are very selective people who go through the journey of being a coach, and which means that, like you mentioned, community, I think, is very important, because it's a niche market, and also because it's a very, it's not a technical thing. It's very much about getting to know people and understanding and being empathetic. At least that's my perspective of being a coach. And I think the best way to learn that is through meeting other people, talking to other people, seeing what other people are doing or going through in their journey of being a coach. And yeah, I think that's what I want to do. I want to learn from my experience as well as your experience, and yeah, try to make that impact. That's
Sure.
fine.
Beautiful. So the keywords that I'm hearing is impact, connection, learning, all those things. So that's beautiful. And I like to welcome Shikha. Welcome for the first. I think you
Hi.
are. Hey. So you
Hi,
are the first
Parina,
one.
Deepak and Sujana. Hi, couples. Thank you. Sorry for joining late. Got a bit delayed.
Yeah, hi Shikha.
Welcome.
Hi. Yeah, so I would like to, because this is my first Ripplers meeting, I would like to know more about, a brief about Deepak, Sujana,
Did
Parina.
you get the chance to look at that 10 minutes audio video message?
Nothing yet. I got to know that we have a meeting today, just like an hour back, and I'm like today I don't have any scheduled meeting. Let me join it.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
So
Sorry, no information on the audio. Yeah.
So the whole purpose of this meeting to create a massive value on your life, everybody's life in this community, so that automatically you become so powerful, so powerful, that it can create a massive impact on this planet. And when I say planet, it's just not about, okay, you're going to go ahead and millions of people impact. No, even if a small number of people making a massive impact in their life, that itself is enough to bring a shift.
True.
And so that's the whole idea behind it. And why it's known as Rippler, because the first coaching lesson I learned from one of the very great coaches known as Steve Chandler. He has been known as godfather of coaching. What he has mentioned, and Sujana, you might be aware of that, one conversation at a time can create a massive impact in your life. Just one conversation at a time.
Okay.
Conversation level, so that it creates a value, immense value in someone's life. You don't need 1,000 people in your life to become a very, very successful person. What you need is just you and that person. And don't ask me how, because that's a low vibrational question. I am right now very away from the how related questions, so that I don't entrapped with a lot of analytical way of thinking and figuring it out, because I have seen that a lot of things are very experiential in the life, a lot of things. So why don't we just experience the how part? So with that, I would like you to also introduce us, because there is a round table which we have done it. So this was a quick, very quick 2 minutes, 1 minute background of yours.
Sure. So myself, Shikha, I'm a holistic health coach, and I work on different physical aspect, emotional aspect, spiritual aspect of a person. When someone comes to me, they might come to me for a physical health issue, and during 30 minutes or 40 minutes of initial call, we will discuss that this is only not one aspect. We need to work on other aspects slowly, and through counseling, not only talk to talk session, we do body work through somatic experiencing and a lot of other techniques. Plus, definitely yoga and pranayama is one leg of my work, which are handled by my trainers. So this is all I do. And I'm also learning Ho'oponopono. I don't know any of you is aware of it or not. So right now I'm learning that too. Plus I'm a student of somatic experiencing advanced. Beginner I have done, learning the intermediate and advanced going forward. So these are the few details about me.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for this quick background. So before we go on further, I would like now ask every one of you, what is your most challenging being a coach? I know, Deepak, you are a very new entry into this space, but not professionally, but you have been using your coaching space around you and your family in a very, very different way. And so still, I would like to ask, what is the most challenging thing which you face, most challenging thing in your life to become that successful, which we have just spoke about, so that you can create the massive impact in people's life and obviously in your life? So what is the one challenge? Just pick up one, so that we will, I'm just trying to get the nudge of the community, so that we can see where it goes as a direction, because I don't want to have that direction. I want you to drive that direction, and then probably we'll facilitate the conversation accordingly. Yes, Sujana, go on.
Okay, so I'll go first, Kapil. So I believe as a coach, even after understanding all the things that need to be done, whatever things are happening in your own life, in the sense my own life at a personal level, okay, so that comes in between, I would say. So there are a lot of things always happening in your life. There is not like things are not moving smoothly, right? There could be something, some family challenge, or you have to travel somewhere, or things are not the things are not turning out the way you are expecting in terms of relationships, right? So I believe that somewhere creates a disturbance in your mind, okay, and as a coach maybe that if impacts my efficiency, that's what I think. I have experienced that personally.
So are you talking about the balance between the personal life and the this coaching aspects or the professional life which you're talking?
See, balance is okay. Balance in the sense that you have to manage time and all of that. But other than that, what I am talking about is to vibrate at a highest frequency as a coach, as an authentic coach, to vibrate at that frequency. For example, right now when I'm here in this space, the frequency which I'm vibrating, I believe I should be in this space when I'm with my client also, okay. And to be that with my client, it doesn't happen in that moment itself. I have to be that always,
Yeah.
right?
How can I be
So
more of
that
that?
all, yeah.
How can I be more of that? Is that an ask? How can I be more of that? Is that an ask?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, got it.
Okay. Sure. Thank you for your inputs. Yes, Shikha, you have the inputs from our side.
Yeah, so I can relate with what Sujana just said. It's, I think, more about the mental space where you want to be and where you are, and the difference it creates when you're handling a
Yeah.
client.
Yeah.
Am I right,
Yeah.
Sujana? Sometimes because of our personal experiences, our own space gets disturbed. And no matter, we can still support the client, but we want to be at the better frequency and a higher frequency to give even more better support.
Yeah.
So, Sujana, I want to share one thing of what I tried at my end. So, initially, when I started my practice 4 years back, sometimes a client will share some story and I'll get absorbed in that, and might take it because it might be related to my personal story and I might be going through it personally or things like that. So, but there is a, if we can say it, a 30-second of self regulation at that moment. For example, a client is talking and she shared some videos of her health, which I have gone through and which disturbed my space so much. So, what I did is, even when she's talking, session is still going on, I take a deep breath, I relax my body, and then I tell myself that this is her story, and she came here because she knows that I can help and I have come out of it. So let me first protect my energy and space, and then I take 30 seconds to protect my space and safeguard my space and to help her. Only it will take, telling me it might take 1 minute, but when you do it for yourself by taking one or two conscious deep breaths, giving yourself some space, taking your own space, a simple posture control can help. For example, sometimes we listen and we get absorbed, and then we lean back, relax our body, and this itself help us to change our frequency, to change where we were.
It's okay. I think she needed your attention now, more than us.
So yeah, where we so it it has helped me a lot in a lot of sessions.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. Shikha. Yeah. Any other inputs so that the direction before I give my inputs to Sujna, let's see which direction this conversation would go. Parina, you have anything in your mind right now?
I don't actually have anything. I'd like to hear from others because I haven't experienced such moments myself so much.
आपकी आवाज थोड़ी सी नहीं आ रही है. Just
Sorry, this is better.
yes, but much better. Yes.
I was saying I would like to hear from others since I myself haven't been in such situation quite often. So
Sure. Deepak, I'll just go to Deepak first, and then.
Yeah, I would also like to listen. I think it's interesting where it is going.
Yeah.
But Kapil, I have
Okay.
not come through any of such thing yet.
Yeah. Probably you can share some of your real-time experiences working with a coach if you have worked. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not getting it.
No worries. No worries.
Yeah.
Let me also add, Sujana. Let me be very honest with every one of you. Today, this is the second session for the Ripplers community. And in the last session, we had two people joined us, which was Sujana and Zabina. Zabina is not here. And that was a very introduction community. And I noticed that from yesterday, there's something nagging me. And then I was it's like my shoulders are getting heavier and I'm trying to figure out, oh, what topic we are going to talk about. Oh, what topic we are going to talk about. And theoretically, it's easy to say, yeah, let it happen naturally. But and I noticed that heaviness was getting heavier and heavier and heavier. And today I just wrapped up my other work in the afternoon and get into this little bit of meditation that helped me little bit relax, fine, no issues. But what I noticed was that I was feeling responsible for this community to grow. I was feeling that I am the one who is trying to add the value. But the real intention was not that. My intention when I started this community was not that. No, I'm nowhere in the picture to add the value in your life. I'm here to see something in me. Let me be very, very honest. I'm here to see something in me if any of the emotions gets triggered in me here, and you being the helper. And when I share something, you share something. And when I share something, you get triggered and you see something there. So my whole intention of this community building was to take care of ourselves. So what I did as an effect, after meditation, yeah, it helped a little bit, but it was very superficial. I could feel that. I went for a nature walk and I had some steps to complete, and then a lot of thoughts were coming, and I was getting relaxed slowly and steadily. After 15 minutes of walk and little bit of with the nature, when I slowed down myself, and I think Shikha, you also meant it slowing down to create that space. So I created a space, that was the intent. But when I created that space, I could see that very clearly in my mind. I'm not responsible for the value of this hour. You are responsible, because it's up to you how you show up. Because I had a very clear experience before. There was a 1 month of coaching program we have started, and there was a person who could see, I have taken the feedback from him, and I said, hey, you know what is the value add you see in this? Yeah, Kapil, it's all fine, but and if and but and all those things, I could sense that not much value. Whereas the same recording, I have given it to someone, recording, not even the live session, and that person said, oh my God, this is something amazing. I could not believe this conversation. So much of variety. Who you are being in this conversation is the game changer. If you're being very skeptic and okay, I'm responsible for this. So as Sujana said, how can I be that high frequency vibrational all the time? What I have learned as a coach here is you are not responsible for anyone's well-being, even if you are taking money from that person for the coaching conversation. What you are responsible for is to take care of you so that you create that amazing space for that person to find their own solutions. And that's when I think is a game changer. When I got relaxed, I have written these notes for this session here. I'm not going to talk about any of the notes today because I gave up. I just surrendered. I surrendered to the bigger universe. Okay, I am not responsible for it. Let them be responsible. So that is my way of being, to make sure that before any conversation happens, I make sure that I create that space. The way Shikha creates the space, I have my own way of creating that space. But crux is the same. I'm waiting for some reactions. Anybody?
Yeah.
So
Say?
Yeah, I just wanted to add something. I know a lot of them are there, but the thing is, it's quite silent for me right now for some time. So I would like to speak. So what happens, Kapil? Actually, whatever you spoke, it was breaking for me. But what I got, the gist of the thing is that as a coach also we are evolving, in the sense that I see myself as evolving, wherein earlier you are coming from the space of that when you are having a discovery call with a client, you are somewhere deeply trying to tell that person that I'll solve your problem. Not maybe directly, but indirectly, you are trying to be the solution provider. You want the client to feel that you can solve their problem. Okay, so even if you're not directly saying them, you want that client to feel, have a sense that okay, this is the right coach for me and she can solve my problem. So over the last few months, the change that I have seen within myself is that I am so graceful in my discovery calls, wherein I am actually telling them. Earlier I was telling them that coaching is a 50% association. It is 50% your work and 50% my work. And with a recent client of mine, I mean, she approached me and all. She shared a lot of things with me, and I was very empathetic, very loving with her. But at the same time, I somewhere felt she wasn't ready for coaching. Okay. And that made me say to her that I just want to tell you one thing, that no matter how good coach I am or anybody is, it is always about you putting more work into it. It is 60% your effort and 40% my effort. And my effort is again the support. But ultimately, when it comes to taking accountability and putting the work, it is you who has to do that. Emotionally being ready to do anything. So that I think that went on very well, in fact. And after that telling me, yeah, I understand that. First, I need to work on myself. As of now, maybe I'm not ready for coaching, and I was so fine with that. So somewhere I felt that I have been evolving in this area. That's all.
Marina, you wanted to share something. I noticed that you wanted to share something on any responses.
I think Deepak was raising his hand.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kapil, when you started talking about the load that you feel on your shoulder, I suddenly remember when you were coaching me, the first session, I was like, when I was reaching to you, I think first session was in person. And when I was trying to reach your house on the way, I was thinking all the way, what question I have to ask, what I need to work upon. And it really went well. Anyway, we started the first one where I open up about professional career and all those. Second session, it was a bigger burden. I was like, I have to start from the first session, then think more on it. Am I going in the right direction? Am I using the time that I have with Kapil? And somewhere I felt it's a kind of a burden. And when we had the third call and you asked me, what do you want to discuss today? And I was like, I don't know. And that's where a shift happened. I was like, hey, I don't know what to discuss. Let's start something. And he was like, you are very open to it. Like, yeah, why not? Let's start something. And all of a sudden, we spent almost 20, 30 minutes. And this is where the magic started happening.
Yeah.
So I just remember when I don't have any expectation, I'm free. And that's where I give up my best. So, yeah.
Beautiful. Surrender. What you're talking is the
Yeah.
surrender.
Yeah.
People know. And let me be
Yeah.
very open.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
For example, I don't want anything from this call. Whatever comes now, the way you opened up, like, hey, let's have the discussion. Let's see something comes out. Doesn't matter what comes out, what doesn't come out.
Yeah.
But the way the conversation is going now, like we are opening up. Yeah.
Beautiful. Shikha, you have anything to share?
No, I'm enjoying listening.
Okay, sure. So, Sujana, I would like to add what you mentioned. Beautiful point in the discovery call. Let me share my experience with discovery. There was a recent ping which has come on LinkedIn, and then we had a connect, and then I found, if I remember correctly, I always seen these days, at least, not the initial days. I'm not talking about 3.5 years back. These days, what I'm seeing is I am coming up with a very open mind to see the possibility to work together. And when that happens, what happens that I'm not very attached to the outcome. I'm not even looking for that. I'm here to see the fitment. I'm here to see the fitment of you, whether I'm the right fit for you or not. So in fact, what I'm opening the conversation is like, hey, let's come up with a very open mind and see the possibility to work together. And if we don't have a match, no strings attached. Let's see what happens. And when this kind of shift happens, I have seen a very, very light, and performance has been skyrocketed. That means I'm able to give my 100%, the way Deepak was able to give his 100%. So I know Sujana would have dropped because of this connection thing now. So no, all three of us. I'm not sure if this conversation is going in the right direction at the moment, but I'm open to hear for you to drive this conversation now, so that even if you don't have an experience of that, you can figure out if in the real life, the way Deepak has explained.
Kapil, is it not the same thing in any direction, anywhere? Like, irrespective of coaching or irrespective of I'm working at home, I'm working in my office, I'm cooking. The moment I just be unknown of the outcome, I really don't care what I'm doing. I'm being in present in the moment, and I'm being best of myself. I just surrender, and the outcome that I have seen that comes out is always amazing. And we become so restrictive. I'm talking about with my experiences in work everywhere. For example, whenever I go for running, I used to be very restrictive. I'll set up. I discuss with you that I will always set up that, hey, I have to complete this much today. I have to keep my heart rate this much. And all these were creating burden for me. And the moment I left my my watch in my house, that day it was an amazing thing because there was no expectation. I just was free. I think it's irrespective of the coaching. It's everywhere. It's the same thing.
Yeah. I mean, you have touched a very beautiful point, Deepak. Yes, it is when you just drop that and give up and surrender. Okay, I don't know how it's gonna be.
Yeah.
So one is expectation, surrendering of expectations. One is that. Another is even how part. I don't know how it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Let's say, for example, if you are planning for a great gala session with 1,000 people, first time ever, and you are totally nervous because you haven't done it before, and then suddenly a shift happens in you and you feel that, okay, I don't know what's going to happen. Let me be just open for it. Let me go. So all the weight immediately just shifts away from your shoulders. And that is what I think is the big takeaway for me has been, whenever a conversation happens with any of the prospects, being a coach, I try to get out of my home. I don't always get, and I always avoid any back-to-back conversations. At least 1 hour of gap between the two conversations, so that I can recharge myself, so that I can recharge my biasness from the past conversation. Maybe I'm feeling after the last conversation like, oh my God, how has this conversation happened? And then I'm doubting on my own capabilities. It happens. And then imagine I'm going with that beingness in the new conversations. I'm being doubtful already. I have created a doubt in my body, somatic, and then that is gonna vibrate with the new person, right? So creating a space, surrender to a bigger cause. They're not responsible. And it took me very hard, by the way. It's very easy to say now. It took me very, very long time to figure out I'm not responsible for anybody's responsibility, anyone's adding value, even though I'm taking a money. They are responsible. I'm just here to facilitate the conversation and give my best. Yes. Jessica.
Yeah, so as you said, that the responsibility part, right? So what I want to add here is, in very simplified terms, which helps me navigate through any such self-doubts or situations where I want to respond or react or control. There are three things. One is my business, my work, my responsibility, my duty. Second thing is other person's responsibility, other person's, duty or responsibility or behavior or action, whatever. And third is the universe, the higher self, the gods, like situation, like now it's raining and that's not in anyone's of control. So I am 100% responsible for how I behave, how I feel, how I interact, what I speak, what I do, where I do, everything. Apart from that, nothing else is my responsibility. For example, I might be saying few words here right now, and imagine that triggers someone, right? I can apologize that it triggered, but at the same time, because it triggered you, I am not responsible. It is 100% other person's responsibility that it triggered them and how to deal with them. That doesn't mean that I don't have a responsibility of what I speak. I am responsible for my words, but how it makes you feel is your responsibility. So when we divide everything in these three situations, others' business, my business, and God's business, I think it becomes pretty easy. And when it's God's business, we can just surrender and have faith, and as we say, jo hota hai, achhe ke liye hota hai. Whatever happens for good and things like that. So it definitely helps to navigate through such things.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
You
I'd
reminded
also,
me.
sorry.
Yes.
No,
No.
along the same lines, I also wanted to point out, right? Like, while there is a lot of power in surrendering and not having that expectation, but we also need to know that we're surrendering to the outcome, like Shika pointed out, but our own preparation, right? Like Kapil, you mentioned that you take 1 hour break at least between clients, you go out on a walk, but that is just you understanding what you require to do to be at the best at that point. So that's your preparation and you're taking accountability for that. So I think that part is also quite essential before we do surrender to the things that we cannot control.
Beautiful. And it is so seamless. Let me tell you, while it is sounds like a rejuvenation, but I'm also trying to shed my own biasness, my own responsibility. As Shikha mentioned, right? I know it's the community is responsible for it. I'm just a facilitator here. And it just makes you feel so light. So now coming back to the original point, I would like to reiterate that. So now you mentioned that how we as a coaches, if I have to be very clear and specific, how we as a coaches maintain our state as much as possible of higher vibration so that the magic begins to happen. Is there any experiences from you, any of you, on that yet?
I personally have some thing which I can share on this. You may relate or may not relate. When we expect ourselves to be at the highest frequency all the time, I personally believe it is not a fair ask. We are all human beings, and we all have our own lows and highs of time, of situations, of moments. Because we are coaches, that doesn't mean we cannot get angry or we cannot get upset. It just means that we can take time and regulate ourselves. So expecting that our frequency remains the same throughout is unrealistic to me, sounds unrealistic to me, but rather acceptance of the free situation. For example, if I have a session scheduled now at 6:30 and due to some reason I am not in my capacity, something happened and I got triggered, I can reschedule it. So knowing your rights rather than giving into the name of commitment. So what we see, oh, that will show me as inconsistent, or I am not punctual, or I'm not professional. When we start these journeys, we get into these things, right? We question ourselves when we are trying to do such things. But I have realized that nothing is wrong, nothing is right. You listen to your body, you listen to your space, and if you feel that you are not in a space to give something, you are allowed to prioritize yourself and reschedule. And so one very beautiful concept I learned from my coach, and he said there are three things: high, medium, and lows of the day, of the week, of the month, of the year. For example, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. is my low time of the day, when my brain is not as activated as 11 a.m. So I schedule my calls based on, first I read my energy, कि मेरे क्या hours में क्या energy रहता है. I accept it and I schedule my day accordingly. So if you guys want, we can do it. Maybe we can do it now also, or we can do it in our next call also. I think वो सबको मजा आएगा वो करके. बहुत अच्छी छोटी सी एक्टिविटी है वो. When you know your high, medium and lows of the day. Similarly, एक वीक का एक दिन या 2 दिन हो सकता है जब आपको लगता है भाई ये संडे को मत बोलो, संडे को मत परेशान करो, या फिर किसी के लिए वो फ्राइडे हो सकता है, किसी के लिए वो मंडे हो सकता है. Just recognizing your space कि अच्छा इस दिन मुझे ब्रेक चाहिए. And similarly, there are months. Suddenly आप 2 महीने बहुत अच्छा काम कर रहे हो, then 1 month you will be off. वो स्पेस नहीं क्रिएट हो रहा है, थोड़ा सा वहां पे कुछ गड़बड़ है, तो उस महीने में कम काम कर लो. पता है कि बच्चे की छुट्टी है, ट्रैवल करना है, you can ease it out. You don't have to work as much as you were doing last month. So this balance, I think, is beautiful to bring in your life, because then only it will be sustainable.
Beautiful. I truly 100% accept what you're saying, Shikha.
So we can do this high, medium.
Yes, wonderful, Shikha. This was like something I mean, I have been doing this, and when you said that, I could resonate so much with this. And earlier, it was like I was doing it, but there was like a kind of tension. It's like a feeling of guilt.
I have felt it.
I did not perform. I am performing. I'm underperforming.
I'm
I'm missing on
inconsistent.
something. Yes,
So,
absolutely.
so and we as coaches can help ourselves learn this self-regulation and self-awareness and self-acceptance practices so that we all can grow.
So if I just summarize in one line, I think the essence is that if you are into the shittiest situation, accept that you are into that and adapt accordingly. That's it. That is the way to go. And that's so beautiful. That resonates with me. Yes, beautiful. Parina, you want to share anything?
No, I mean, like Sujana mentioned, right? For me also, those are like the guilty periods. It's like I think I think because we're so used to overworking and overperforming, when we're when our body and our mind is like wants to take a break, we kind of punish us. We judge ourselves first. It's like, why are you like this? And then we kind of have like, okay, then if I'm not able to do this, then maybe I can overcompensate by pushing myself towards doing something else. So yeah, for me also that happens. And yeah, I'm really glad that we are speaking about it because it's nice to know that other people also experience this kind of situations, and there's a way to treat ourselves better when we are in these kind of situations. So it's nice to hear that.
And Deepak, I remember our conversation about it, and how beautifully you have stopped creating that expectations from your mind, and that beautiful concept which we have learned together was starting from zero. Like, it's all. And when you start from zero, because you accept the way you are, if you're angry, you're angry. And just wanted to share one recent experience. These days I'm trying to work on myself, um, which I avoided it for quite a period of time, in the name of positive thinking. And I have escaped all my insecurities of life, all my fears of life, all my guilty period of life. And these days, I'm trying to find not to miss a single opportunity without any pressure to see what I'm feeling right now. And that beautiful work which doing these days is feel the feelings. And when we get into the feel the feeling space, if you feel like crying, you cry. If you feel like showing the anger, you show that. And then as a result, you raise your vibrations. But that's not compulsory. You don't need to, you don't have to raise your vibrations. You just be with yourself the way you are, and then you have been taken care automatically to raise the consciousness. I think that is the essence which is coming up. Am I right, Shikha?
Can I add something to that?
Yes, your inputs are super valuable.
Same for others too. So when you said feel the feeling, I would like to add another half of it is when you feel the feeling, feel the sensations of the body.
Yeah.
It's very powerful. And
That's what
continue feeling it, continue observing the sensations and observe that sensation reducing, releasing, and whatever your body tells. For example, at this moment, I'm feeling angry and I observe some heaviness in my neck and I start observing this anger and I start observing this heaviness. It might move to my arm,
Yeah.
And then my whole arm is heavy. And then I might feel to move this arm.
Mm.
So I can do it, but do it slowly.
Mm.
So I am angry. I can feel the heaviness. And when I focused on it, it increased, expanded in my left arm. And
Mm.
I want to move it because it is heavy. And I choose to move it whatever way my body is seeing, but slowly,
Yeah.
observing it. And when you do it, right, you will observe that anger has reduced, that sensation has reduced. It might shift initially, it will go to your lower back or somewhere. Then you might move your back a little. Then you might move your legs a little. Then you might stand and stretch a little. But ultimately, ultimately you will stop it when it is released from your system.
Yep. 100%.
So
Beautiful.
because I think as coaches, you all might agree that whatever emotions we feel get stored in our body.
Yeah.
And we need to release them, right? That's what we do. And this is a
100%.
beautiful way of self-releasing by completing that process through observing and through acceptance.
Beautiful. Thank you for
Very
complete.
amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Thanks, Sajana. So this is something I have done it for quite a while, but I am learning somatic, and this is one basic thing they teach. There are more parts to it. We can have some somatic session someday. I do take practicing sessions. तो कभी रिपलर्स ग्रुप में मैं डाल दूंगी कि let's कपिल next time जब अपन करते हैं तो we can talk about it and we can do somatics.
What we can do. So you are, I think we are converging to a beautiful point right now. In the next conversation, I'm thinking, and please feel free to give your inputs as well, because this is amazing work as a coaches. Let me tell you, Parina, even though you seems like starting a journey, but being a coach in 3.5 years, what I learned is it always reflects on you to do that
And
inner work.
similarly, others can teach us what they practice, right? Like, for example, Sujana might be good at something which she uses for her clients, and she can use it on us also. Similarly, Deepak and Parina and Kapil, like we all can interchange and use our techniques on each other as a group therapy, as a group healing, and just to refine and add to each other's way of techniques.
Yep, absolutely, absolutely. So let me create that space for us for the next session. And thank you for this beautiful
That is
offer.
not 100% your responsibility.
Yeah, that is not mine. I'm just helping to create the space here.
So don't take burden to create that space also.
Yeah,
The people in the group will do it,
yeah,
and whoever will need it will create it.
yeah. I mean, when I say creation, not in the session, creation for the session through me. Let me be more specific. All right, we have almost come to our end for this session, and this is growing up now, and I'm glad that I'm not sure how much value you have got from this, and that's okay if you haven't, or if you have got. Beautiful, but important takeaway. Let's do a round table from this so that we go and apply that in our real life, whatever we have learned. I would like to start.
So yeah, I'll start. So for me, I think it is about not judging myself when I'm going through the lows of my day or of my month, and to accept that my body is also trying to speak to me. Yeah, and to respond in a more positive manner.
Thank you. Thank you. Anyone? Deepak?
Yeah. I think it again comes down to the same fundamental level that it's all right. Everything is fine, right? We are born with anger. These emotions are come with nature. Like I have 50 days old babies there, they have anger. It's all right. Like it came with them, right? They get hungry, they can get angry. So I think it's all right to accept everything. I'm angry, it's all right. As long as Kapil, you mentioned you are in a state where you fluctuate and come back to a state, everything is all right.
Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. Yep. That's good. Sum up. Anything from Shikha or Sujna as a takeaway?
More than the takeaway, I
Yeah,
would
I
take it
think
as
Kapil,
a commitment to self that let us be more regular and attend the meets and continue to grow together.
Help each other. Can we say that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Beautiful. Yes, Sujna. Sorry.
yeah, I think there were a lot of things to take away for me today. But one of the most powerful things that you shared, Kapil, was about the way you approach the conversation. Okay, so I really found a lot of value in that. So it is not even about whether the other person is ready or not, maybe, but even moving to that next level of you're just exploring the possibility that if we can get into an association and surrendering, absolute surrender. I think that was very powerful for me. And what Shikha shared about, because see, at the beginning when I shared what is the challenge, right? So the challenge is sometimes it's not. I don't get absorbed by the client's story. I have somehow learned to be graceful about that. What I was talking about is my own personal mental state, if that is not good, okay, and if I have a session scheduled with that client that day, I somewhere feel, first of all, I've committed, I have to be there. But secondly, my own mental state is not that good, and I'm coaching this client. Okay, so that I feel. So somewhere what Shikha shared with me, that is going to help in the sense that actually focusing on that thing. It could be that physical challenge or it could be that mental challenge. Focusing on that and letting it release. Actually observing that and letting it go. I think that was very powerful for me.
All right. My takeaways are all of this, but I would like to add that I think the way you have explained, Shikha, that how this energy flows from the hand and from here, and then you let it go, and then that release part. So I think um, I am into the mode of practice for that, but probably more of that would be helpful.
Beautiful. And not
Yeah.
only the low frequency emotions like anger or hurt or sad. Even if you're joyful, suppose you took a session and you are feeling amazing about yourself at this moment. No,
Yeah.
at that also you don't have to move too fast. Again, observe where do you feel that joy in the body and expand it with slow movements. Trust me, you will feel that expansion in your body. We will do it one day in our community. Let's see.
Would love to have that experience from you.
Yeah.
Thank you for this offering. All right. Thank you, guys. Have a wonderful evening with yourself.
Thank
I
you,
hope.
Kapil, for hosting it.
Yeah,
And thank you, everyone.
thank you so much, Kapil.
Thank you, Sujana, Parina.
Nice meeting
Yes,
everyone.
bye
Yeah.
everyone. Bye. Thank you everyone.
See you guys again
Bye.
next time.
Yes,
Take
bye,
care.
bye,
Bye.
bye. Evening.